Alrighty. Hello everyone, how are you all doing? Anywho, welcome to Bad End Theater. I had played this many a moon ago. I don't actually remember when. I think it was possibly as soon as November. The first November after I started streaming, which would have been my second month. It's been a very long time. I actually don't remember it very much, but man, as soon as I booted it up and I heard this song playing, I gotta tell you, it was very nice. Enter. Welcome to Bad End Theater. On this stage, we shall be toying with fate. You will make many choices, unlocking darker and darker paths, all in order to witness a lovely variety of tragic events. But first, allow me to explain how it works. To begin the tutorial, select whichever doll you like. The human doll or the demon doll? I am the demon doll! You control the demon doll. You're a fierce-looking guy, just minding your own business. How will you interact with the human doll? We're going to play nice. We're gonna kill it. You kill the human doll in cold blood. How ruthless! You found your very first bad ending, but don't worry, the story need not end here. Let's reset the stage and try again. This time, try controlling the other doll. You control the human doll. You're a friendly little guy, just minding your own business. How will you interact with the demon doll? Attack it. You both attack each other at once and achieve the worst possible outcome. What an excellent bad ending, made possible by your decisions. You'll do well in this theater. Now that you know how the story goes, you can set the doll's behavior in advance. As you just saw, these behaviors will automatically be set to what you chose during your last playthrough. But now you can turn each one on or off without having to replay from that doll's perspective. Yes, my theater actually doubles as a puzzle game. Now, try turning the doll's behaviors on and off to see the different outcomes. Human doll, hostile, demon doll. You control the demon doll, you're a fierce-looking guy, just minding your own business. How you interact with the human doll? We're gonna play nice. You try to make friends with the human doll, but it kills you. End tutorial. Neat. Do you understand how to play? Yeah, I understand. Do the thing, stab the people, replay it without stabbing the people. Gameplay. This game saves your progress automatically, so just relax and collect all the bad endings at your own pace. Now, without further ado, let's start the show. You are the hero, a maiden, an underling, the overlord. I want to be the maiden. You are a maiden. You live in a peaceful village next to a spooky demon overlord's castle. You were told that you are fated to be captured by the overlord one day because you are a beautiful young girl. Demon overlords apparently love capturing those. You think of how you haven't heard of that actually happening to anyone, but maybe the demons just haven't been given the opportunity. Who knows? You are in church. You pray to your god, asking why you have been born into this role of maiden. You respect the divine plan and all, but you're really just curious as to what the point of it is. You are impatient. Meeting a demon actually sounds pretty gosh darn exciting. Maybe you'd understand your role better if you were just hurry up and get captured already. You leave a note and venture forth to find a demon, just to, see what happens. Not long into your little adventure, a demon underling appears before you. It looks pretty scary. Shout out for a hero to come save you? Or introduce yourself? We're gonna introduce ourselves. You tell the demon your name and explain that you're a maiden from the village. The demon suddenly jumps you and starts biting. A lot. How painful. This plan of yours was completely stupid, you think. Why couldn't you have been more patient? Why did you go looking for trouble? You aren't angry or anything, of course. This was all your fault for trusting a demon not to devour you on sight. This is your punishment for questioning fate, you guess. Bit by bit, you are swallowed by the demon until you are no more. Yay! We beat the game! Roll credits! Reset the stage. So now we've unlocked Polite. So now we're gonna keep that option. I'm gonna go play Underling. You're a demon underling. In service of the Overlord, you aren't particularly strong, but not particularly weak either. That's what your friends tell you. Your job is to guard the castle and keep humans away. It's unbearably boring. Heroes rarely come all the way here to challenge the Overlord anyway. It's a lot of standing in one place, staring into nothing. You feel like you're gonna go crazy if you don't get a break. You decide to ask the Overlord for a day off. She gives you an earful about responsibility and unquestioning obedience. You wait for her to finish her lecture before returning to your post. What does she know about anything? Who made her the boss of everyone? You complain about the Overlord to your friends. They agree that she is kind of a snob, and totally deserves to be kicked off her throne. You only wanted to vent your frustrations, but the conversation somehow turned into an assassination plot. You should probably steer this in a responsible direction. Let's not overthrow... Yeah, let's overthrow her. No! You're sick of this Overlord holding you and your friends back. You agree that it's time for a change of management. Your friends suggest maybe you should be the new Overlord. You like the sound of that. You announce your first act of rebellion and to take that day off like you wanted. Your friends aren't very impressed. You assure them you'll talk more about the assassination thing when you get back, which satisfies them. You sneak out of the castle to have some fun. The change of atmosphere excites you. You spend some time rolling around in the grass, wild and free. As you make your way along the path to the nearby human village, you encounter a maiden. She greets you and says she has a favor to ask. You consider your options. You know, you can't have such an exciting option next to hear her out. Well, you can't blame me. Maidens aren't the best meal, but you figure you should live up to your demon name and strike back against the humans. You start devouring the maiden without so much as a second thought, and feel quite proud of that. Other humans would surely praise you with curses if they were around to see. Oh man, if only someone could have been watching. Time to find an audience for your evil deeds. You wander into the nearby village. The people are screaming and running away, throwing rocks at you and whatnot. You think that's pretty rude of them. You haven't even done anything yet. Put on a show! You attack the nearest human. He is old and weak, and his bones crunch delightfully. Your audience's screams grow louder. Applause! You think, hey, this is actually pretty fun. I should have taken revenge like this a lot sooner. As you continue your bloodthirsty dance, striking the villagers down, you fail to notice a sword-wielding hero running toward you. He takes you out in one swift blow. You're just a demon underling after all. As you die, you think, that was totally worth it. The curtain closes. Jeez. Just went on an absolute rampage. Boo-da-boo. Well, reset the stage. Ow. What are you? Total 2 out of 41. Oh god. Look at all these. I'll figure those out later. Who have I not played yet? I haven't played the hero or the Overlord. Let's do the hero. You are the hero. You like to think of yourself as a pretty reliable and swell guy. Oh. Oh, that's what's doing it, my right click. Your life has been rather ordinary, aside from the occasional heroic adventures fighting evil monsters and whatnot. You were told a maiden from your village has been kidnapped and is likely being held captive at the nearby Demon Overlord's castle. Who even puts a village right next to where an entire demon army hangs out? You don't get it. You're happy to protect the townspeople, though. You were born to play this role. You head off on your adventure to rescue the maiden. But demon soldiers block your path. You could kill them to gain experience. Flee like a coward! Forgetting your pride, you escape with your life. But you can't return home now, your reputation will be ruined. You wonder how you'll ever be able to rescue that maiden all on your own if you can't even fight some lousy demon underlings. You'll take your chances at the castle. You're a hero after all, this is your job. After a long trek, you make it to the castle's front gates. You are faced with an army of demons that all look very intimidating. There's no way to sneak past these monsters if you want to reach the Overlord. Ask if they'll let you in. You go up to the nearest demon and explain why you've come here. They stare you down and you feel very uncomfortable. But they seem to trust you and escort you directly to the Overlord's chambers. That was easy. The Overlord is alone. You ask about the maiden, but the Overlord doesn't seem to know what you're talking about. Was she really never here? You wonder what could have happened to her. The Overlord says that she wishes she could help you, but you're the first human that's come here in forever. At least that she knows of. You think of how you probably shouldn't trust her, seeing as she's a demon and all, but you can't really prove she's lying either. You apologize for the intrusion and return home to your village. The maiden was never found. Because she got munched on. The maiden is gone. Wow, useless hero. Well, that was neat. Alright, let's try the Overlord. I'm gonna try turning everything off and just have it at the default options. You are the Overlord. You live in a castle surrounded by your demon servants. It's a pretty cushy life, you think. I keep right-clicking. I think it's because I usually right-click for Final Fantasy. Except for those pesky humans who keep killing members of your army. There's even a role called Hero, whose whole purpose in life is just to dethrone you. What's their deal, anyway? You've actively avoided pissing off the humans in hopes they'll leave you and your army alone, but they never do. You're still new to the whole Overlord thing, if you're being quite honest with yourself. You don't really understand the politics of it. But you remind yourself everyone is just doing their best to fulfill their roles. You won't let them bait you into being the evil Overlord they expect. You think you're pretty cool and mature to hold yourself to the higher standard like that. One of your underling walks into your room, totally interrupting your thoughts about how awesome you are. They're saying something about how boring it is to stand in one place, guarding the castle all the time, especially since no one ever comes here anyway. You see their point, but the way they're whining about it kinda bothers you. What to do with his underling? Grant them the day off. You tell them to go take a break from the stifling castle atmosphere and refresh their dark soul. A day off should be fine every once in a while. They thank you and happily scurry off to do who knows what. You have nothing better to do today, so you decide to nap for a little while. Being the Overlord sure is great. You awake to a knock on your door. The underling from earlier brought back some company. It's a maiden from the nearby human village. Wow, she didn't get munched on this time. She says her role is to be captured by you. The maiden then goes on to say that she's been getting very impatient thinking about her impending capture, so she's come here to speed things along. You appreciate her honesty, but regret to inform her you never had any plans to capture any humans. She seems very disappointed by this. Perhaps I'm not performing my role well enough. How can I become more maiden-like? You don't really understand the question. You think this world puts way too much focus on destiny and junk? Just go home and stop worrying about it, you tell her. The maiden seems to be having a hard time wrapping her head around this. She insists that she stay and talk to you more. You feel warm inside as she locks into your eyes. This is the first time a human has looked at you without contempt. You wonder what to say. Tell her she better go home, let her stay for a while? Well, let her stay for a while. You can't bring yourself to send this maiden away. She just got here. You enjoy a nice long chat with her, sharing stories about your kind. She expresses her surprise that demons are not at all what she expected them to be. You are glad that she seems to have an open mind about these kinds of things. You also bring up how you always instruct your army to avoid humans, as not to agitate them and get heroes sent out after you. That explains why the people of my village have been left unharmed. It's because of your orders, isn't it? We are very grateful. You're surprised to hear her thank you. You've always thought of humans to be violent and unreasonable. That's why your servants are always getting killed, despite your efforts to leave them alone. But this maiden is different. You joke that maybe you've been lying to her this whole time, and that you were actually super evil all along. The maiden laughs at that, saying she wouldn't mind being held captive here. The people in her village are a little exhausting at times, she says. You can't tell if she's into you or not. You're interrupted by another human in your doorway. This time, it's a hero. He was apparently searching for the maiden, who is rumored to have been captured by your kind. Captured? Not at all. I only wanted to meet with the Overlord. Didn't anyone read the note I left behind? After everything is explained, the hero expresses his relief that this whole misunderstanding hadn't led to any horrible consequences. The maiden apologizes for causing trouble, and the hero asks her to return to the village with him. Confusing feelings well up inside your heart. You're surprised that you had one of those to begin with. You don't want the hero to take this maiden away from you. Possessive. Oh no. We're gonna let her go. You're certain that she'll return to spend more time with you. You just have to trust in that, you decide. With the hero and maiden gone, you plop down into the comfort of your luxurious Overlord bed. Your room feels so empty now. Is this loneliness? You hope your new friend will be back soon. You close your eyes for a while. Until your door slams shut. Before you know it, everything around you is being engulfed by flames. What's going on? You try to escape, but something's blocking the door. You're having trouble forcing it open. What is this? Someone didn't want you getting out. Are you being usurped? They have zero foresight. What castle will they rule from if this one burns? You don't want to believe that your underlings have betrayed you, but this is no accident. Those ungrateful bastards. You choke on the thick, black smoke from the fire. You can't believe you're being done in by a bunch of cowards. You'll see them in hell. Oh no. Burned Overlord End. I was about to be like, yeah, how the hell is this gonna go wrong? She burns to death. Well, we got our bad ending. We're gonna do this one. Play as the maiden. You are a maiden. You live in a peaceful village next to a spooky demon overlord's castle. We're told that you are fated to be captured by the overlord one day because you are a beautiful young girl. Demon overlords apparently love capturing those. Yep, we read all this. Boop, boop, boop. Not long into your little adventure, a demon underling appears before you. It looks pretty scary. We're gonna introduce ourselves again. You tell the demon your name and explain that you're a maiden from the village. You tell them that you were thinking maybe you could understand your role better if you were to hurry up and get taken away by a demon already. The demon doesn't seem to have really been listening to you, which is a little irritating. They agree to take you to their master nonetheless. After a long walk to the castle, you are introduced to the Overlord. You explain why you've come, and she squints at you. Turns out she never had any plans to capture maidens or to do anything else that would agitate the humans. You wonder for a moment if she might be lying, but it doesn't really seem like it. Still, this doesn't make any sense to you. You've always been told that demons would one day seek you out, and something awful would happen, then a hero would come to your rescue. You don't want to believe you've been lied to all along. Maybe it's just that you haven't been maiden-like enough. You ask the Overlord what you should do to be a more suitable maiden, but she doesn't seem to understand. Just go home and stop worrying about destiny so much. She makes it sound so simple. This Overlord seems like the complete opposite of you. You want to learn more about her and how she thinks. You insist on staying to talk with her more. The Overlord shares many stories about demons with you, and little by little you realize they might not be the ruthless monsters you were raised to believe. As it turns out, she commanded her demons to avoid towns and villages. She didn't want to risk giving the humans any excuse to send a hero out after them. You realize that must be why you'd never heard of any demons attacking your town. You express your gratitude to the Overlord on behalf of your village. She says you can thank her by telling the humans to stop raising heroes. She's tired of her servants getting killed off by them. You've always thought demons were violent and unreasonable creatures, but it seems the Overlord could say the same of humans. You may be different, but really they're just trying to live their lives the same as you. You feel like you're starting to understand things a lot better. I like how this is already painting the picture that, you know, it's all about perspective on whatever side you're on. It's like it's not a clear black and white situation by any means. Oh, backlog. But maybe everything I've said was to deceive you and the other humans. What would you do if I turned out to be super evil all along? Even if she were to capture you now, you think this place is far more interesting than the way things are back home. You kind of like not being told to expect demons to come after you all the time. You feel free. Honestly, you've always kept to yourself, but spending time with this Overlord has been very nice. You feel butterflies in your stomach. But then, a hero barges into the room. His clothes are stained by a dark liquid. It's dripping from his weapon, too. You realize it must be demon blood. Something horrible has happened. Confused, the hero asks you what's going on. You explain the situation, reassuring him that you were never in any danger. The Overlord has walked past the hero and out into the hall. She's wailing. You can only guess what kind of horrible scene he's left for her. The Overlord tears the hero apart in retaliation. You watch silently, unable to scream. The Overlord, who you had just been getting along with so well, has killed another human right in front of you. It's clear now that you had been deceived by her sweet words. Demons are ruthless monsters after all. You somehow manage to slip past the Overlord and make it out of the blood-soaked castle. You never look back. Well, shit. That, like, it just hits the fan so fast. Polite? You were a demon underling in service of the Overlord. Blah, 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 blah. Let's not overthrow her this time. You tell your friends you were totally not serious about this whole thing. You're actually cool with the status quo. After all, life must be pretty dang good if the only thing you have to complain about is that you live so comfortably there's nothing to do. The others nod, but don't seem convinced. You say a coup d'etat would be more effort than it's worth. But you're still gonna be a rebel and sneak out of the castle. Your friends praise your mischievous ways. The change of atmosphere excites you. You spend some time rolling around in the grass, wild and free. As you make your way along the path to the nearby human village, you encounter a maiden. She greets you and says she has a favor to ask. You consider your options. Hear her out. You're in a good mood today and are rather curious about what the maiden has to say. Humans don't usually talk to you, so this is kind of exciting. You hadn't guessed it would be even be possible to understand each other before now. The maiden is going on and on about some kind of destiny she's trying to fulfill. The bottom line, from what you gather, is that she wants you to take her to the Overlord. Sounds like it could be interesting. Besides, you have nothing better to do. Satisfied with your day out, you take the maiden back to the castle and present her to the Overlord. The Overlord asks where you found this maiden, knowing full well that you left the castle when you weren't supposed to. You apologize for disobeying her, but hope that the maiden is an interesting enough present that you may be forgiven. The Overlord nods and says everything's cool as long as you always listen to her from now on. You're impressed with what an easygoing boss she is. You mention how you can't believe you and your friends even considered overthrowing her. She gives you a look and you say, "That was just a joke, of course!" She smiles and dismisses you. You decide it's about time for a nap. These characters are adorable. Until they go crazy. After a few hours of sleep, you're rudely awakened by the sounds of battle. You emerge from your room to find that a hero has slaughtered many of your friends and work associates. What a jerk! Avenge your fallen comrades. Who does this guy think he is, coming in here and killing everyone like some maniac? What did we ever do to him? You lunge at him while he's busy driving his sword into the guard who sometimes brought you food whenever they noticed you were feeling kinda down. You liked that guard. You wish with all your demon heart for this hero to suffer for his deeds. You bite into him, tearing flesh from bone. It tastes like iron. The hero struggles. You feel his sword go through you, but there is no pain, only retribution. More of your comrades pile onto him as your consciousness fades. The hero is overtaken. Your army has won. You have earned your rest. Let's leave the underling as he is, and we'll play as the hero. Boop, boop. I'm trying to think. You head off on your adventure to rescue the maiden. Demon soldiers block your path. You could kill them to gain experience. Bravely slaughter the evil creatures. Yes. You make quick work of the vile creatures who stood in your way. You feel much stronger now. After a long trek, you make it to the castle's front gates. You are faced with an army of demons that all look very intimidating. Now, there's no way to sneak past these monsters if you want to reach the Overlord. God, this music is so good! Anyway. Cut through the demon army or ask if they'll let you in. Cut. You gather your courage. This is what must be done in order to rescue the maiden. These are all evil demons anyway. This world is much safer with them gone. That's what you tell yourself while you kill one after another on your way to the Overlord's chambers. You find the maiden being held captive by the Overlord, just as you suspected. But for some reason, you can't sense anything sinister happening? You all look at each other in surprise and confusion. This is no time to hesitate. No hesitation! Destroy the Overlord! You lunge forward, driving your blade through the evil Overlord. She screams, then falls silent. The Overlord has been slain. You smile, offering the maiden your hand. She takes it, after slight hesitation. She must be surprised at how strong you are. You escort the maiden home. She's oddly quiet on the trek back to the village. She must be too shy to speak. The villagers are very pleased with what a good job you've done, slaying the Overlord and saving a hostage. They throw a huge celebration in your name. You are remembered for generations as the greatest hero the village has ever seen. Triumphant hero, end. Now I want to do the same thing, except not be evil. I don't know. I wonder how the maiden feels about that. Probably, like, horrified is my guess. The Overlord and maiden seem to be in the middle of some casual conversation when you barge in. You all look at each other in surprise and confusion. This is no time to hesitate. Ask the maiden what's going on. The maiden explains that she was never actually captured and that she came here on her own volition. That was a pretty dangerous thing of her to do, but no one got hurt, so at least there's that. You ask her to return to the town with you to reassure everyone of her safety. The Overlord allows the two of you to leave, and you casually exit the castle. You try to make conversation with the maiden, but she's been pretty quiet since leaving the Overlord's room. Is she shy? She suddenly stops in her tracks, and you turn your head to see what the deal is. Oh, the Overlord's castle is engulfed in flames. You can't help but feel relieved you got the maiden out of there when you did, but she suddenly takes off towards the burning castle. Panic sets in, and you follow to try to stop her. The smoke is so thick, you've already lost sight of her. What is she thinking? It's too dangerous to continue. You feel hopeless. You stand alone at the castle gates. Your body won't allow you to take another step forward. No, going in there would be suicide. You return to the villagers and tell them that there was nothing you could do. You were too late. The maiden was claimed by the demons. I forgot about the fire. I think this is what we had before. I just want to see the maiden's point of view. You want to learn more about her and how she thinks. You insist on staying to talk with her more. We've kind of done all this. Oh, except for this. The Overlord tells you again that you should get lost. How rude, you just got here. Refuse to leave. You put your foot down and tell her you're not going anywhere. You still want to fulfill your destiny, even if you have to make it happen on your own. She's a little frustrated at your stubbornness, but doesn't kick you out or anything. Hooray! The Overlord shares many stories about demons with you, and little by little you realize they might not be the ruthless monsters you were raised to believe. Got all this. They're heckin' cute together, we know. But then a hero barges into the room. His clothes are stained by a dark liquid, it's dripping from his weapon too. You realize it must be demon blood, something horrible has happened. The hero suddenly dashes toward the Overlord, sword drawn. Protect her? Okay, we'll do nothing, and then we'll protect her. The hero's blade pierces the Overlord, and she lets out a horrible scream. You flinch. The Overlord is slain. The hero smiles and holds out his hand to you, saying it's time to go home. His glove is drenched in blood. Hesitantly, you take his hand. The hero guides you through the castle, past the corpses of his enemies. You try to keep your eyes at your feet. There's blood everywhere. You shut your eyes, but even then, you can't escape the smell. All of this was because of you, wasn't it? You exit the castle, and the hero leads you back to the village. Everyone celebrates the hero's great triumph over the demons. You feel sick, but you take part in the festivities regardless. Complacent maiden. Alrighty. Let's do the exact same thing. We shall protect her! You selflessly throw yourself in front of the hero's blade, acting as a shield. It's funny, you think. You never could have imagined this would be the way that you die. The roles are all switched around, but it feels right to you somehow. You are glad your destiny turned out to be saving someone rather than being saved yourself. As your vision fades, you hope that everything turns out alright for your new friend. Now I want to do... Can I... Yeah! So we're gonna have Martyr, except now we're going to be the Overlord. Time to get back to work. Sure. Just so we can read more. You give them a lecture about responsibility and unquestioning obedience. Your servants ought to do what they're told, whether they like it or not. They look really unhappy with you, but you're sure they'll thank you for this later. Venturing too far from the castle tends to spell death. You dismiss the underling and lie down in your nice and comfy Overlord bed. All that lecturing made you want to take a nap. You fall asleep pretty quick, just another one of your amazing talents as the Overlord. You wake to a knock on your door. The underling from earlier brought back some company. You thought you told that underling to do their job, not drag strangers into your room. Looks like they took an unauthorized break away from the castle. You scold them, but ultimately you're a little interested in this guest, so you let them off easy. That underling's not so bad. So if I tell her to go home, is she gonna stick around? You'd love to have all the conversations in the world with your new friend, but having a human girl here will definitely cause trouble. You put on your mean face and tell her to get lost. But the maiden turns out to be very stubborn. You don't want to hurt her, but you also really want her to leave in case something bad happens. This whole situation is just asking for trouble, you think. Against your better judgment, you let her hang out for a little while longer. Again, they're adorable together. It's fantastic. Oh shit, I didn't want to skip that. But he shouldn't have made it here. Why didn't they stop him? The hero just stands there, unsure of himself. He is covered in demon blood. I mean, what did it say? You notice the sounds of battle have started ringing through your castle halls. The maiden is getting nervous, but you reassure her it's only your underling's roughhousing, no big deal. You know it's probably a hero, but you don't want to upset the maiden by telling her that. Your army will take care of it. It isn't long before the hero bursts into your room. The hero just stands there unsure of himself. He is covered in demon blood. As the maiden speaks to him, trying to explain the situation, you move past the hero and out the door. You're not thinking clearly. Seeing your servants' bodies in pieces all strewn about your castle has really taken it out of you. That hero did this? There's so much blood. Why? Did he come for the maiden? Did he think she needed rescuing? There was no one for this hero to save here. There was never any harm meant to anyone. You were just talking to her. Why has it turned out like this? The maiden shouts something behind you, and you turn just in time to see her throw herself between you and the hero's blade. It pierces her chest and she falls to the floor, lifeless. As the pool of blood beneath her grows, so does your rage. This hero has taken everyone from you now. You lose control, and the hero is obliterated. But your hatred for the humans has not yet been sated. You go on to destroy them all and become ruler of the entire world. Yikes. Do everything normal for now. Go to play the underling. She's very frightened, actually, is what it said. I need to stop clicking so fast. Like, the thing is I don't want to miss anything, but I don't want to keep rereading the same stuff, either. Tell her to quit yelling. When the maiden realizes you're not going to hurt her, she regains her composure. Now she started talking to you like you're friends or something. You don't understand humans at all. You speak the same language, of course, which has always confused you, but why is there conveniently only one language in the world? If demons and humans have independent societies, wouldn't it make sense for them to each have their own language? Wow, this game is incredibly self-aware. The maiden is going on about some kind of destiny she's trying to fulfill. Bottom line from what you gather is that she wants you to take her to the Overlord, which we know all that. They seem to be getting along just fine, so you decide it's about time for a nap. Yay, nap time. You don't get to sleep long, your friends wake you up. Rude. One of them is stepping on you pretty hard. You ask them what their deal is. They say they're planning on a whole revolution. They're gonna get rid of the current Overlord and put a new ruler in place. They want you to hear if you're in or out, and being a pretty lazy underling, you of course reply with, "That sounds like a lot of trouble. How about we just skip it instead?" Your friends question your loyalty to their cause. She's actually not so bad, you guys. Your friends seem pretty disappointed. They apologize to you, but before you can ask what they're sorry about, one of them suddenly seizes you. Someone who's still loyal to the Overlord really has no place in our castle. You understand, right? Their claws tighten around your neck. You don't bother to struggle. You're outnumbered. You already knew how things like this end. This is a pretty messed up thing to do to a friend, you tell them. They slit your throat in response. God, so much for friends. Do it again. Kill the Overlord! You tell them you were just joking and clarify that you're totally in it to win it. They say you were always terrible with jokes. Whether or not you actually feel like killing the Overlord, you know how bad it'd be to end up on the wrong side of things. And if this assassination deal doesn't pan out, you can always pretend you were innocent all along. But beneath your shield of faux confidence, you worry about what you're getting yourself dragged into. You follow your friends outside the castle to talk more about the plan. You're curious if they have any idea how they want to go about this. They figured they'd just lock her in a room and set it on fire. What a stupid plan. That could go wrong in so many ways. You realize your friends are just a bunch of directionless thugs, useless without someone's guidance. Your guidance. There would probably be casualties if you fought her head on, and while showy deaths make a revolution a heck of a lot more fun, it's probably the wrong way to go. Your friends agree and suggest that you play the assassin. You really didn't want it to come down to this. But you can't back down now. You'll have to be the one to assassinate the Overlord. Besides, no one has any better ideas. You sneak into the Overlord's room. She's taking a nap, like usual. This is almost too easy. You silently approach your master. She looks so peaceful. Time to die! You figured the cleanest way to do this would be to dig your claws into her throat, so you do just that. She wakes, but not in time to stop you. You watch as she chokes on her blood, cursing you, before finally expiring. That felt terrible. You remind yourself it was either her or you, and you weren't about to let yourself get killed by anyone. You leave the room to find your friends waiting just outside. They look pleased, only now do you realize they must have planned to use you like this from the beginning. You are the new ruler of this castle. Your subjects bow before you. You live in fear that they will one day betray you, as you had betrayed your Overlord. Yikes. Now let's chicken out. Chicken out. You don't want to kill her, you can't go through with it. You turn to leave the room, but you find your friends blocking the exit. In a panicked whisper, you ask them to let you out. It seems to have been their way of testing your loyalty. You tell them this is pretty fucked up, and ask again to be let out. The Overlord stirs in her bed. While your head is turned, the demons shut the door. You scramble into the Overlord's closet to hide before she wakes up and sees you. There's nothing you could possibly say to explain this and survive. You're trembling. You can't believe those assholes would bully you like this. You feel like crying. Light flickers at your feet. It doesn't take you long to realize they've set the room on fire. You hear the Overlord trying to get the door open to no avail. You're both trapped. Wow. Too afraid to move, you resign yourself to your fate. You and the Overlord burn together. We know why the fire starts. Maybe the hero wasn't all that bad about slaughtering them all. Man, we haven't been doing any of the Overlord endings. We need to do more of those. Let's see. Dutiful, heroic, polite. Yeah. But he shouldn't have made it here. Why didn't they stop him? Wait. Oh, I had him on murder mode. I think I didn't want him on murder mode, actually. That's fine. As Maiden speaks to him trying to explain the situation, you move past the hero and out the door. You're not thinking clearly. Seeing your servants' bodies and pieces all strewn about your castle is really taking it out of you. That hero did this? There's so much blood. Why? Did he come for the maiden? Did he think she needed rescuing? Yeah, we get it. No one deserved it. That sucks. You feel a sudden, sharp pain through your back. You look down to see a blade protruding from your chest. Ah, that was careless of you. So this is how you die, stabbed in the back by some cowardly hero. What a joke. You're supposed to be the ruthless one. That's right, humans can't be trusted. Not if this is what they're capable of. You should have remembered that before letting one in. You watch as the hero takes the maiden's hand, leading her through the sea of corpses he had left in his wake. Captured by a demon, at least she got what she came here for. You join your army in eternal slumber. Slain Overlord and... Let's not make him crazy murder mode. Oh shit, should we be possessive? I want to be possessive. The maiden came here to be captured by you, didn't she? You'll grant her wish. You tell the hero you won't let him take her home. The maiden assures you that she'll be back, but you don't budge. The hero is cautious now. If you won't let her go, maybe you demons are evil after all, and if you are, I'll be forced to vanquish you. You have no choice. You destroy the hero before he can steal your maiden away. She's frightened. You don't understand why. Didn't she say she prefers this place to her village? Now she doesn't have to leave. You take a step toward the maiden, and she backs herself into a corner. You don't understand. Something sharp pierces your back. The hero? No, he's already... It's one of your underlings. The maiden screams. Your servant tackles you, tearing you apart with their claws. You struggle to retaliate. They've done too much damage. You can barely move now. Your blood is everywhere. You can't believe this has happened to you. Why has this happened to you? You've been slain by your own underling. Well, that's not what I expected. Yeah, I thought I had coward on, which I thought for sure that meant he wasn't gonna murder me. Guess not. But it's cool that, like, yeah, as I said in the very beginning, it doubles as a puzzle game. That's really neat. Let's try all the same, except not be possessive. Let them go. You're certain that she'll return to spend more time with you. You just have to trust in that, you decide. With the hero and maiden gone, you plop down into the comfort of your luxurious overlord bed. Your room feels so empty now. Is this loneliness? You hope your new friend will be back soon. You close your eyes for a while. You've almost fallen asleep when the maiden and hero burst into your room, frantically trying to communicate something to you. You're told that a group of demons is plotting to assassinate you. You're not surprised. How nice of the humans to care, though. One of your underling barges in next, shouting that the humans are liars. They're followed by another group of demons, crying that everything was that first underling's plan. Everyone is shouting over each other now, and it's very annoying. You yell for all of them to shut their traps. You have no doubt that your servants would let their ambition cloud their judgment and lead them to try to take your throne. Regardless of who led this conspiracy, I have no choice but to punish everyone to keep you all in your place, crushed beneath my heel. Saying that made you feel very Overlord-like. You aren't sure if you had the strength to back it up, though. Lately all you do is sleep. That look is... that look is it. The group of demons start muttering something about going back to Plan A, and suddenly slam your doors shut. You, the maiden, the hero, and one of your underlings are trapped inside. In an instant, the whole room is in flames. The underling pounds on the door, cursing at their friends for betraying them. The hero pounds on the door as well, vowing to slay the cowardly demons on the other side. So this is how you'll die, burned alive in your own room by those you thought you could trust. You should have expected this from a bunch of idiot demons, though. You notice the maiden crying. Why does she have to die over something that has nothing to do with her? Perhaps she was cursed from the moment she spoke to you. You wonder if you're cursed as well. You're so filled with anger and frustration, you don't even notice that you've grabbed the underling those traitors blamed everything on. They cry for mercy, saying that they were dragged into this plot knowing they'd be killed if they took your side. They cry that they didn't want to have to kill you. You almost feel sorry for them. Forgive them. You release the underling, killing them wouldn't make you feel any better. Besides, they've already gotten their punishment. You'll all burn together. I missed a lot of chat stuff. I saw it like running, but I also didn't want to stop reading. Also, Overlord's true end... What? That's the true ending? Before you're taken back to reset the story once again, you pause for a moment. True end, you say to yourself? What was the point of all my effort if the true ending is this terrible? You must have forgotten where you were. This is bad end theater. Is the pain setting in? Oh, but you should have been well aware of what you've been shown when you entered this place. It's a problem I've seen quite often. At some point, you grew attached to my little cast. You started to relate to their flaws, their plights. You started wishing for their happiness. But you aren't going to find that here in my theater, my lovingly crafted labyrinth of suffering. Anyway, I hope you'll pardon the interruption. You're making great progress. The choice to continue on to the next ending is always yours. I'll leave you to it, dear guest. Which one did I find that on? Overlord? True End. Okay. I feel like I'm missing some stuff. I'm guessing there's 4 for each, because I just got a 4th one for the Overlord. Let's go... Maiden again? I don't think we ever did this one, actually. And also, ow. You yell, but a hero does not come. The demon is put off by your sudden shouting and asks you to keep it down. You apologize. They seem more confused than hostile, which totally catches you off guard. You tell the demon your name and explain that you're a maiden from the village. And I'm guessing this all goes the same. So it's gonna be when the fire starts, right? Unable to shake your concern, you look back over your shoulder. You stop in your tracks. The castle is engulfed in flames. Is the Overlord alright? You can't return to the village like this. You have to know. You have to be sure everyone is safe. You've already taken off before the hero can even think of stopping you. You scan the fleeing demons, but the Overlord isn't among them. Against your better judgment, you rush into the burning castle to find her. You quickly reach the Overlord's room, but the door is shut tight. The handle is too hot to touch. You're too weak to force it open. You pound your fists against the door helplessly. What were you thinking? This is all because you'd forgotten your role. Only a hero could pull this kind of thing off. You start to cough. The smoke is too thick. You can hardly breathe. You realize you haven't got much time left now. You desperately head towards the stairs to save yourself. But the fire spread faster than you expected. You won't make it outside. You can't help but laugh. What a joke. A maiden? Saving the Overlord? If you just stayed true to your role, things wouldn't have ended like this. This is exactly the kind of punishment you deserve. You let the demon fire cleanse your rotten soul. Wow. That one made me really sad. That was really sad. Anyway, let's make him disloyal and a coward. Or do the same thing. You'll be back soon. Near the castle's entrance, you spy a group of suspicious demons congregating. They're talking about assassinating the Overlord. You have to warn her. But the hero shakes his head. He says that if this is the true nature of demons, the world is better off with less of them. This isn't right. You think what kind of hero passes the chance to save a life? The demons have taken notice of you. It's now or never. You take off into the castle and the unreliable hero follows shortly after. You burst into the Overlord's room, all your words spilling out at once. You should probably slow down, but there's no time. The Overlord seems to have followed your frantic explanation, but clearly doesn't understand the urgency of the situation. The underling you recognize from before barges in, calling you a liar. You're surprised they were part of this evil plot. They seem so nice. The other demons come in right after them, saying the whole thing was the first underling's idea. Everyone's shouting at each other now. It's really stressing you out. You are relieved when the Overlord demands silence. She threatens them with violence, and you think she's very Overlord-like in this moment. So does she. The group of demons hiss to each other before shutting the door, leaving the little one behind. You watch as it pounds on the door in distress. Have they locked you all in? You have a bad feeling about this. And thinking that must have jinxed it, because now the room is engulfed in flames. If only you had ignored these demons before, you and the hero wouldn't have stumbled into this situation. If you had just pretended not to hear them, if you left as you were told, only the Overlord would have been killed. But you couldn't have done that. That path isn't an option for you. You think that no matter what, you'll always strive for the path where everyone survives. It must exist. It simply must. The Overlord seizes her underling. They beg for their life. You pray. You don't know what else to do, so you just pray. The Overlord's claws pierce the underling's chest. They scream an awful scream. She digs and twists her claws into the poor thing while you continue to pray. But there's no saving any of you now. You, the Overlord, the hero, and the underling's corpse are consumed by flames. Wow. God, the music gets so intense. It's It's partly what makes me want to keep reading. Alrighty, reset the stage. Why don't you do the same thing? The Overlord seizes her underling. They beg for their life. You pray. You don't know what else to do, so you just pray. The Overlord spares the underling. You feel relieved, but does it make any difference? Will you all burn together? Maiden's true end. It can't end like this. Keep collecting bad endings for now. I'm gonna keep collecting bad endings. Hungry, dutiful, bam. Huzzah for bad endings. That's what you tell yourself while you kill one after another on your way to the Overlord's chambers. The Overlord appears, demanding to know what the hell you're doing murdering all her soldiers. You get straight to the point and ask her where the maiden is. She feigns ignorance, a convincing act, but you won't be fooled. If the maiden isn't here, then what happened to her? You can only see one answer. The Overlord definitely captured her. In fact, it's possible she's already been devoured. Thinking about that poor maiden's fate fills you with hatred. You fight the Overlord with everything you've got. You become strong from the hordes of demons you took down before this final battle. The Overlord is almost no match for you. You cut her to pieces. The Overlord has fallen. You breathe a sigh of relief, but your job is not yet finished. You search the castle. Unfortunately, you find no sign of the maiden within its walls. Just as you suspected, she must have already been devoured. You feel hollow. Great evil has been banished from this world, but what does that matter if you were too weak to save someone? You stand alone amidst the carnage and ponder what it means to be a hero. You return to the Overlord's remains and wrap her head in your cape to bring back to the village. Surely your great victory will be celebrated. Failed hero end. Guess we're gonna go follow this tree. So we're gonna go dutiful, dutiful, not hungry? Yeah. Oh, and that's why we didn't see the maiden, because the underling ate her. That makes sense. Alrighty, but yeah, okay, I see what happened, because I was wondering why the maiden wasn't there, but I forgot, like, at the very beginning, the underling, like, totally eats her if he's on the hungry option. Alrighty. Boop. You find the maiden being held captive by the Overlord, just as you suspected. But for some reason, you can't sense anything sinister happening? You all look at each other in surprise and confusion. This is no time to hesitate. Ask the maiden what's going on. She explains that she came here on her own and was never in any danger. She hesitantly asks why you're covered in blood. You don't know how to respond. The Overlord moves past you and out the door, to see her army in lifeless, bloody piles. She's wailing. It's horrible. This is your chance, hero. This is all just a big misunderstanding. You hope she'll let this whole thing slide if you could just explain yourself. You really try, but the Overlord is inconsolable. She tears you apart, and the maiden watches in silence. As you die, you can't help but think you probably deserve this. Well, these are so happy. These are the best endings. We'll just go dutiful again. Same thing, except we kill her. And martyr. Anyway, destroy the Overlord. You lunge forward to put an end to the evil Overlord, but your blade pierces the maiden instead. She has sacrificed herself to protect this demon. It takes you a moment to recover from the shock. The Overlord wails. Why did you do that? You're not sure if the question is directed at you. The Overlord strikes at you in a vengeful rage. You parry, and she is slain. Your sword feels heavy. You look at your hands, your clothes. Blood. So much blood. You look to the fallen maiden, wondering what to tell the townspeople. Why would she protect the Overlord? She must have been brainwashed by demonic magic. You pick up the Overlord's head, wrapping it in your cape, and begin your long journey back to town. You will say that you were too late, that nothing could be done for the girl, but the Overlord is slain. There will be celebration. Loyal hero end. I'm not gonna lie, like, Goosebumps is, like, what I'm getting from this game. It's so freaking neat. But my god, there is just something different about these games. I think anytime I play these, it's always so apparent to me that the most artistic freedom is in the indie games. Like, straight up. It's when there's, like, no, like, industry problem getting in the way. Like, they make it exactly how they want to, and it turns out awesome, because I imagine that's what this is. Because it's just this self-contained experience, it's not complicated, but it's probably one of the coolest things I've ever played. Let's see, let's keep going through this. Ask the maiden what's going on. The maiden explains that she was never actually captured and that she came here on her own volition. That was a pretty dangerous thing of her to do, but no one got hurt, so at least there's that. You ask her to return to the town with you, to reassure everyone of her safety. The Overlord allows the two of you to leave, and you casually exit the castle. You pause when you see a group of suspicious demons standing near the entrance. They're talking about assassinating their Overlord. This proves to you that demons really are foul creatures. We have to tell her about this. You don't understand what the maiden is thinking. The world is better off with less demons. They're all cold, ruthless creatures that should be destroyed. And those same creatures that have just noticed you eavesdropping, the maiden takes off into the castle and you have no choice but to follow. You burst into the Overlord's room. The maiden frantically tries to communicate what you just overheard. The demon underling barges in next, calling you liars. It's followed by the group from the entrance, who shifts the blame back onto the little one. These demons only care about themselves. How low can they be? You begin shouting at them, and the whole room dissolves into noise until the Overlord yells for everyone to shut their traps. She threatens them all with violence. This Overlord is no better than her subjects. You grip your sword tightly. If you have to cut through everyone here to get this maiden to safety, you certainly will. The group of demons hiss to each other before shutting the door, leaving the run to the litter behind. You glance around for another exit, but there isn't one. You have a terrible feeling about this. In an instant, the whole room is in flames. What kind of demonic magic is this? The underling pounds on the door, upset that it's been betrayed. You join it, vowing to slay the cowardly demons on the other side. The next moment, the Overlord has taken hold of the underling. It's crying for mercy. She thrusts her claws into the underling's chest, and it lets out a horrible scream. You back away. You won't be the next target of her rage. She continues to dig and twist her claws into its limp body. You can no longer watch. You look to the maiden. She's crying, hands clasped together in prayer. To have faith in a time like this. You envy her. The two of you, the Overlord and the underling's corpse, are all consumed by flames. Resigned hero. The next moment, the Overlord has taken hold of the underling. It's crying for mercy. You're going to kill it as retribution? It continues to cry and make excuses, but the Overlord does nothing. To your surprise, she lets it go. Are demons capable of mercy? You guess it doesn't matter now. You'll all burn together. Man, the true end is what's getting me so sad. It's like, we tried so hard. No matter the perspective, the true ending remains the same. That's what makes it true. You couldn't resist seeing it for yourself, though, could you? I wonder what will happen when you collect them all. Will you give in to despair? Or... No, because I'm a stubborn bastard. But the Overlord objects to this. The maiden tries to tell her that she'll come right back, but the Overlord refuses to hear it. The maiden seems nervous. As a hero, it's your job to mediate situations like these. You tell the Overlord that if she doesn't let the two of you go, you'll have to assume she's evil. You'll be forced to vanquish her. You leave me no choice. The Overlord pauses before suddenly jumping you. You are helpless as she disembowels you with her claws. How horrible. You came all this way, only to be met with this cruel fate. You should have destroyed these evil creatures while you had the chance. Your dying wish is for the maiden to somehow make it out of this alive. Naive hero end. Antisocial. I'll just have to remind myself about being dutiful. Obedient. Oh wait, I definitely skipped something important. Go back! I didn't expect her to just, like, be on the road coming back. On your way to the Overlord's castle, you spot a maiden heading back toward the village. She couldn't have come from the Overlord's castle, could she? This may be the exact maiden you're currently seeking to rescue. You approach her with curiosity, and she runs from you for some reason. You wonder what that's all about, but then you remember you're covered in demon blood. Not wanting to look like you're a crazy person chasing after her or anything, you nonchalantly walk back to town. As you walk past the town square, you notice the whole village is crowded around. Is that the maiden you saw earlier? She's bound to a wooden stake. The crowd is in a frenzy. Smoke begins to rise, and you stand idly by as flames consume the maiden. She must have done something horrible to deserve that. Decide to call it a day and return to your house, but you can't escape this sinking feeling. Maybe you aren't cut out for this role. Spectator hero. Now I'm wondering what the maidens is like. They're the cutest thing we've ever seen in this entire game. It's great. and then obey her. You don't want to cause any trouble, so you figure it's time to go home. Along the way, you encounter a hero. He's covered in demon blood. You are frightened by the sight of him and run away. You return to the village alone. Everyone was very worried about you. They surround you with 1,000 questions, and you tell them your story. As you explain that the Overlord never had any intentions to harm anyone here, you notice the looks of uncertainty in the crowd. People are whispering things to each other while you speak to them. You are loudly interrupted by an older man. He rudely calls you a demon sympathizer. The crowd is growing unruly. You don't understand. You've only told them the truth. Do they not believe you? Everyone begins speculating what must have actually happened. They weave elaborate lies and ask you to prove your innocence. How could you have returned without the aid of a hero, they ask. You could not have possibly escaped the Overlord on your own without harm. You must be conspiring with the demons, trying to trick everyone into believing they aren't the horrible creatures we know them to be, so they say. Have the people of your village always been this blinded by their fears and hatred of things they've never cared to know? You wonder how you missed that before. You are seized by the crowd, and voices from all sides are calling for public execution. You are to be burned at the stake. You don't want to die. You wonder, would it have been better to hide the truth? You don't like the thought of that. You've always lived honestly, so why has this happened? Why are you being punished? You hear the dissenting voices of your family and neighbors, but they, like you, are powerless against the momentum. They can only watch as you burn, and you can only cry for them. You are so sorry. Yikes! Possessive, diplomatic, maiden. You explain the situation, reassuring him that you were never in any danger. Hero expresses his relief. We know. Hero asks if you'll return to the village with him to give everyone the news of your safety. But the Overlord objects to the hero's suggestion. You tell her you plan on returning soon, but she isn't having it. You feel nervous. The hero puts on a brave face for you. If you won't let her go, maybe you demons are evil after all, and if you are, I'll be forced to vanquish you. You leave me no choice. The Overlord suddenly jumps the hero. She tears into him with her claws. You want to cry out, but the scream catches in your throat. You watch because you can't look away. Has she really been lying to you all along? You wonder, is this your punishment for questioning the divine plan? The Overlord approaches you now. You back yourself into a corner. Her expression is complicated. Being captured by the Overlord in a horrible way like this was your destiny after all. He vows to keep you very safe from now on. You're afraid to find out what that means, but there's no one left to save you. You belong to the Overlord now. Chicken out. You don't want to kill her, you can't go through with it. You turn to leave the room, but you find your friends blocking the exit. In a panicked whisper, you ask them to let you out. Wait, have I already done this one? Oh, I have already done that one. Damn. Oh, let's not have her leave. Maybe. So we get caught conspiring. I just got the same one. Okay. Let's see. Polite. Let's have the maiden go with. We want the hero to be there, so diplomatic? There we go. That's something different. You and your friends turn to notice a pair of humans have overheard your entire conversation. They take off into the castle. Are they headed to the Overlord's room? Fuck! The Overlord will kill you for sure if she found out you were conspiring to take her out. You dash into the castle after the humans. Sure enough, the maiden's already frantically telling the Overlord everything. You shout that the humans are liars! Your friends soon arrive to back you up, except they don't. Instead, they blame the whole thing on you. They cry that it was all your idea and that they were just going with the flow, too scared to refuse your crazy plan. You can't believe they'd tell the Overlord such a blatant lie. You always knew better than to trust them. You're the one who didn't have a choice here. You all shout at each other until the Overlord demands silence. Regardless of who led this conspiracy, I have no choice but to punish everyone to keep you all in your place, crushed beneath my heel. She sounds tough, but lately all she does is sleep. You doubt her strength. You hear your traitorous friends mutter something about going back to Plan A, and suddenly the door slams shut. You're trapped in here with the Overlord and the two humans. And then the room bursts into flames. You pound on the door, screaming curses at those who betrayed you. The hero joins you, vowing to slay the lot of them. You wish he'd get that chance. The Overlord grabs you by the throat. You cry for mercy. You were forced into this mess. You're sure now that they would have killed you if you'd sided with her. But the Overlord doesn't hear your pleas. She drives her claws into your chest. At least she made it quick. Okay. We didn't earn anything, though. Can we get the maiden to leave without the hero? Does that change anything? Change your mind and leave. Save yourself! That's right, I forgot about this part. Save yourself! You look around at the lifeless forms of those you've known as far back as you can remember. You feel glad not to be in their shoes. You also feel guilty to be thinking that as you flee the castle, until you remember your role, not as an underling, but as a demon. This kind of thing is expected of you. Maybe you'll start a new life, far away from any humans or demons. Where you'll live peacefully, alone, in some deep, dark forest somewhere. Deserter underling. That doesn't give me anything new either. I want new things! How does one get new things? He asks you what you're doing. Don't you know the Overlord's castle is, like, right there? Damn, I keep clicking that. You explain everything that happened. The hero seems to think you're lying to him. He asks if you've been brainwashed by the demons. What nerve! You're very upset that this so-called hero would treat you this way and leave in a huff. You return to the village alone. Everyone was very worried about you. They surround you with 1,000 questions, and you tell them your story. As you explain that the Overlord never had any intentions to harm anyone here, you notice the looks of uncertainty in the crowd. People are whispering things to each other while you speak to them. You are loudly interrupted by an older man. He rudely calls you a demon sympathizer. The crowd is growing unruly. You don't understand. You've only told them the truth. Do they not believe you? Everyone begins speculating what must have actually happened. They weave elaborate lies and ask you to prove your innocence. How could you have returned without the aid of a hero, they ask. You could not have possibly escaped the Overlord on your own without harm. You must be conspiring with the demons, trying to trick everyone into believing they aren't the horrible creatures we know them to be, so they say. Have the people of your village always been this blinded by their fears and hatred of things they've never cared to know? We read all this. You're seized by the crowd. You don't want to die. She gets burned. Okay. Maybe play the hero when he's not dutiful? I don't know. Play like a coward. Asks the maiden what she's doing. Doesn't she know the Overlord's castle is, like, right there? It's dangerous. Maiden explains that she spoke with the Overlord, and it turns out that the demons never had any diabolical plans to harm the village or anyone in it. Oh, yay, we got a new thing! We'll believe her story. You have no reason to assume she's lying to you. Even though her story is kind of hard to believe, you feel you should trust her. You tell her you've been pretty surprised that everyone has been wrong about demons all along. The townspeople must be informed of this immediately. The two of you return to the village. They had all been so worried. They praise you for your bravery. But the maiden quickly sets the record straight. There was nothing she needed to be rescued from in the first place. The villagers look to you for explanation. You politely inform them that it isn't your story to tell. You merely ran into her on the way to the castle. She explains that the Overlord isn't interested in capturing maidens, or anything of the sort. The villagers turn to you again in disbelief. They aren't being subtle in how little they trust this maiden's story. You totally believe her, but to placate these fair citizens, you volunteer to speak to the demons personally. Just in case. The crowd breaks into hushed whispers. You're too busy thinking what a great and reliable hero you are to hear what they're saying. The town's elder's voice breaks you out of your thoughts. He implores you to meet with the Overlord immediately and says they'll all keep an eye on the maiden until you return. You figure that sounds alright, but the mood is kind of intense for some reason. Did you miss something? You aren't sure what's going on, but you get the feeling it might be bad to leave the maiden on her own. But she suddenly takes off running. Oh, you thought the two of you were in this together. Her actions have convinced the crowd that she's obviously been a liar and a witch from the start. People are shouting for you to hunt her and her demon friends down already, but that doesn't sound like a very heroic task. You can't help but feel these people are wrong. It's up to you to catch up to her and talk to the demons in order to clear up this misunderstanding. You valiantly dash after the maiden toward the Overlord's castle. The air becomes dark and thick as you enter deep into demon territory. Evil miasma? No, you realize it's just normal smoke. You see the maiden ahead, but she's stopped in her tracks, the Overlord's castle engulfed in flames. You had only taken an eye off the maiden for a second, but she's already disappeared. You get closer to the castle, but the smoke is so thick now you think of turning back. The maiden might need your help, but you can barely see. She could be impossible to find. She could have been lying to you all along. Was this a trap? Would it be worth risking your life on that chance? Your legs feel heavy. No, going in there would be suicide. You return to the villagers and tell them that there was nothing you could do. You were too late. The maiden was claimed by the demons. But hey, we have a new thing now! Yay! So I think I understand. So if we are trusting, we can switch to one of the other two. Let's go with the Overlord? Yes. Grant the day off, I suppose. Blub. Better go home. The maiden does what she's told and takes her leave. You figure may as well go back to bed now. But you don't get to rest for very long. Before you know it, everything around you is being engulfed by flames. What's going on? You try to escape, but something's blocking the door. You're having trouble forcing it open. What is this? Someone didn't want you getting out. Are you being usurped? They have zero foresight. What castle will they rule from if this one burns? You don't believe that your underlings have betrayed you, but this is no accident. Those ungrateful bastards. You choke on the thick black smoke from the fire. You can't believe you're being done in by a bunch of cowards. You'll see them in hell. I feel like I got it wrong. Boop boo. Boop boop boo. Hero does nothing. If we're trusting... Let's play as the maiden with these settings. Maiden. Introduce yourself. Obey. He's very surprised that demons don't seem to be as malicious as you were raised to believe. The two of you return to the village, hoping to communicate this to everyone. They had all been so worried and are very glad that the hero brought you back. You quickly set the record straight. You weren't rescued because there was nothing to be rescued from in the first place. The villagers seem confused and look to the hero for an explanation. He tells them he only ran into you on his way to the castle and that it isn't really his story to tell. You explain to them how you met the Overlord and that she's not actually interested in capturing maidens or other mean things like that. The villagers look again to the hero for confirmation. You feel a little miffed that they seem to prefer his word over yours, but you don't say anything about it. The hero proclaims that he believes your story, but volunteers to go to the demons himself, just to make absolutely sure. The crowd breaks into hushed whispers. You hear words like trickery and demon sympathizer being thrown around, which makes you frown. You're pretty shocked that everyone's this hesitant to believe you. Does the hero even trust you? You aren't sure anymore. An old man implores the hero to go speak with the Overlord immediately. He says you should be held prisoner and considered dangerous until the hero returns. Much to your disbelief, the crowd agrees with him. Because, of course, if you weren't conspiring with the demons, they can't afford to let their guard down. The whole village would be slaughtered by monsters. The hero isn't saying anything. You'll be tied up and tossed into a cell at this rate. If you're going to be held captive by anyone, it's going to be the Overlord, not your fellow countrymen. Leave on your own. You can prove yourself without anyone's help. You make a run for the Overlord's castle, leaving the hero behind. But as you get closer, you start to notice a tower of black smoke darkening the beautiful blue sky. The castle is engulfed in flames. What in God's name could have happened? You scan the fleeing demons, but the Overlord isn't among them. Against your better judgment, you rush into the burning castle to find her. You quickly reach the Overlord's room, but the door is shut tight. The handle is too hot to touch. You're too weak to force it open. You pound your fists against the door helplessly. What were you thinking? This is all because you've forgotten your role. We've seen this before. Damn it. Okay, so same thing, except we stay behind. Introduce. Skippity skip. Yeah. Obey her. Grab the hero and run. You boldly announce that you'll accompany the hero to prove yourself. You'd rather risk what's out there instead of staying in a village that doesn't trust you. No one seems to know how to react. You grab the hero by the wrist and take off before anybody stops you. But as you approach the castle, you notice something's gone terribly wrong. It appears to be on fire. Is the Overlord alright? You have to be sure everyone is safe. You've already taken off before the hero can even think of stopping you. You scan the fleeing demons, but the Overlord isn't among them. Against your better judgment, you rush into the burning castle to find her. You quickly reach the Overlord's room, but the door is shut tight. The handle is too hot to touch. Wait, this same thing just happened. Wait, no. Oh no! And she burns to death. Okay, so that's not different. But does that give us a thing for the hero? No. Okay, so if we do not resolute, play as the underling. You're out. Was it disloyal? You and your friends turn to notice the maiden from earlier has overheard your entire conversation. It'd be bad for you if the Overlord found out about this. Use the maiden for killing practice. Toss her in the dungeon. You and your friends seize the maiden and bring her to the dungeon under the castle. It's empty, save for the decorative skulls. They're only there to make it feel more spooky. The maiden is very upset. You leave her in the cell to continue scheming with your friends. But now a hero has arrived at the front gates. He's asking about a maiden, perhaps the very one you just locked up. The gatekeeper, who must have seen everything, tells the hero exactly what happened. What an idiot, you think? Why give the hero an excuse to start slaughtering us? The hero yells, "Prepare to face justice!" and other such cliché hero lines before driving his sword into the gatekeeper's torso. You're small compared to a lot of your friends, so you're able to slip away without getting cut up by that sword. You get to thinking, if this hero took down the Overlord for you, everything might actually work out in your favor. Wait for things to die down outside before poking your head out. You spot the Overlord and the hero locked in battle. They've worn each other down, making this very easy for you. Once an opening presents itself, you hit the back of the hero's head, knocking him out. What are you doing? Couldn't you tell this was a duel? You don't respond. You have to carry out the assassination. You tackle her and rip her to shreds with your claws until she stops moving. You finish off the hero next. You can't let him revive and come after you later. Kind of a cheap victory, but it doesn't make any difference. Anyone who managed to survive comes crawling out of their hiding places. You are the new ruler of this castle. Your subjects bow before you. You live in fear that they will one day betray you as you had betrayed your overlord. Now if we do Disloyal Captor and just play as the hero... Bloop. But weren't we dutiful? I think we were dutiful. Oh. No. Not dutiful. She can't be trusted. Believe her story. When you reach the gates, you ask the demons if they've seen the maiden. They have. They inform you she's being held in the dungeon at the moment. You trust them, and in return, they lock her up? So demons are truly evil beings, after all. You demand they take you to her, but they do not let you pass. You should have expected as much from these unreasonable creatures. You know what you must do. You thrust your blade through the demon before you and rush the castle alone. You're the only one who can save the maiden now. What the fuck are you doing, killing all my soldiers? The Overlord is angry. You vow to exterminate her and all of demonkind. You clash again and again, but the Overlord isn't going down easily. You're both dangerously low on health when everything goes black. Your quest has come to an abrupt end. A letter flutters down from beyond the curtain. You found lost letter number 1. My love, it just isn't fair at all, is it? For them to force us apart like this, it's unreasonable. Cruel. I had to find an outlet for this grief somehow, so I decided to write. And I'll keep writing until the day you find me once more. And then, maybe we could write a story together. I'm waiting for that day. Forever yours, Tragedy. So I don't have to play the hero anymore. I can just play... Do I have all the choices unlocked? I do! Now it's just total freedom. Yep. Grab the hero and run. You boldly announce that you'll accompany the hero. To prove yourself, you'd rather risk what's out there instead of staying in a village that doesn't trust you. Okay, never mind. That did not do the thing. I got something wrong. I'm reading the tree wrong. Anyway, introduce... Obey. Oh. They burn to death. Oh, we're not supposed to click resolute. I see. Leave on your own. You can prove yourself without anyone's help. You make a run for the Overlord's castle, leaving the hero behind. A suspicious group of demons stands just outside the entrance. They're talking about assassinating the Overlord. They immediately notice you heard them. The underling you recognized from before is the first to do something about it. This is just the way it has to be. They suddenly attack you. In that moment, you regret having ever trusted the demons. You die instantly. Wow, that was abrupt. It's like, and she's dead. Well, okay. Well, and now we'll do Captor, and we'll get captured, and it's gonna be great. Introduce yourself. Obey. Leave on your own. They immediately notice you overheard them and decide to lock you in the dungeon before you can cause any trouble. You cry out, but the demons ignore your protests. You can't believe you escaped possibly being thrown in a cell back in your village, only to be tossed in this awful place. This is terrible. Who's going to keep those demons from harming the Overlord? You hope she can fend for herself. You sure can't. You hear the sounds of battle echoing through the halls outside. Did the hero follow you? If he's out there, your cries don't reach him. After a while, the violence seems to die down. It's impossible to tell what's happened. You continue to wait, but no one comes for you. Unable to escape, you rot in that cell. A letter flutters down from beyond the curtain. You found lost letter number 2. Yay! Number 2 says, My love, I finally fulfilled a childhood dream of mine. Yes, that's right. I opened up my very own theater. You would be so proud. If you could only see it. I know how much it would have meant to you, to be at my side on opening night. I'm sorry for going ahead without you, but I thought, if my theater could become world famous, then maybe You just might hear of it, wherever you are. Forever yours, Tragedy. So it's cool that they have like a background plot, even like with everything that's going on, there is something going on in the meta of this story. Okay, possessive, diplomatic, and that's it, yes? I just have to be disloyal with what I play as? Okay. So you gobble her up, don't quit yelling. Disloyal. You sneak up to the Overlord's room, but there's a couple of humans in there. You watch the scene unfold. You aren't sure why, but the Overlord suddenly cuts down the hero. She approaches the maiden you brought to her earlier. With the Overlord distracted, you figure this is as good a chance as any. You launch a sneak attack, getting her right in the back. She flinches, giving you enough advantage to take her down. You rip the Overlord apart until she stops moving. That was messier than you would have liked. The maiden mutters something from the corner. Thank you for saving me. It wasn't your intention, but it sounds like you did something heroic. You tell the maiden to go home. This place is dangerous. She follows your advice and leaves the castle. Your castle. You are the new Overlord. Interesting. I like how he's just like, oh, you're there. Hi. And then just the true ending, I guess, which would be disloyal, antisocial, obedient, trusting, resolute. Use a main of killing practice. This is the way it has to be, you declare, before jumping her and clawing her guts out. Turns out you're already an expert at ending lives. Your friends call you a show-off. You go back into the castle to wash off all the icky human blood. As you're finishing up, you hear the sounds of a battle outside. A hero has come. Seeing the dead maiden must have made him pretty angry. You get to thinking, if this hero took down the Overlord for you, everything might actually work out in your favor. Okay, and this will just do the same stuff as usual. Okay, so I messed up somehow. What did I miss? Alrighty, resolute. That's what I forgot. To your surprise, the Overlord spares you. Or maybe she'd rather see you suffer instead. Looking around, you've just gone from one dead end to another. The maiden is crying, the hero is silent. You'll all burn together. True ending. A letter flutters down from beyond the curtain. You found lost letter number 3. My love, I've been feeling a little depressed lately. Many patrons have come to my theater, but none so far have stayed to experience every tale in its entirety. The critics haven't exactly been kind, but I understand. My stories aren't exactly crowd pleasers. Despite that, you always listen to the very end. I'm grateful for that. Hope to see you again soon. Forever yours, Tragedy. The hero starts babbling insincere apologies and excuses, realizing his wrongdoing, but you are far beyond hearing that kind of bullshit. You have had it with these humans always murdering your servants for no reason. You can no longer hold yourself back and lash out at the hero. When you regain control, there is nothing left of the hero. The maiden has fled in terror. You are alone. The maiden came here to be captured by you, didn't she? You'll grant her wish. You tell the hero you won't let him take her home. The maiden assures you she'll be back, but you don't budge. The hero is cautious now. If you won't let her go, maybe you demons are evil after all, and if you are, I'll be forced to vanquish you. You have no choice. You destroy the hero before he can steal your maiden away. She's frightened. You don't understand why. Wait, didn't I do all this? Didn't she say she prefers this place to her village? Now she doesn't have to leave. Take a step toward the maiden, and she backs herself into a corner. No, we didn't do this, because we got, killed from behind. You don't understand. She wanted to stay here with you. The hero was trying to get in the way of that. You had to kill him. You'll be sure to keep this maiden very safe from now on. God, even with blood on her face, she's adorable. Yeah, take retribution! You pierce their chest with your claws. They scream. The hero backs away. He is wise not to interfere. They've stopped moving, but you keep digging and twisting your claws into them. It doesn't make you feel any better. The underling's corpse burns along with you and the 2 humans. Spiteful Overlord end. You awake to a huge commotion outside. A hero has shown up and started totally murdering your soldiers. What the hell, guy? You rush out into the battlefield to confront this jerkwad. You curse at him and very rudely inquire his reasons for doing all this. The hero yells at you, demanding you return the maiden you're holding captive. You don't know what he's talking about, but you can't forgive his actions. You do battle with the hero, but he has grown strong from cutting down your army. You are unable to defeat him. With decisive swings, he stabs and cuts you to pieces. You fall. You have failed your subjects. You spit curses weakly. You wish you'd been stronger. Maybe you were never suited to be the Overlord in the first place. The truth was, you were never that much more powerful than the demons who served you. It was the title, the control, that gave you strength. These are your thoughts as you are swallowed by darkness. Wow! You know, they have like this continuing theme of roles, which I think is very cool. Like it's people like thinking they are destined to do something, destined to be something, and I think in every ending, it's either in question, or they're like, man, I should have just done what I was supposed to do. But either way, you get a bad ending. You are awakened by one of your underlings. A hero wishes to speak with you. He inquires about a maiden who is rumored to be here, but you've never seen her. Humans don't visit often, or ever, really. As the hero takes his leave, you wonder why he totally trusted you there. Heroes traditionally kill demons. This guy seemed like he was bad at his job, in your opinion. Whatever, you're still feeling sleepy, so you go right back to your nap. One of your underlings is tearing your throat out. You try to struggle, but you can tell you're already mortally wounded. What have you done to deserve this kind of ending? You remember now, you gave this one a day off, and this is how it repays you? You die wondering if you could have done anything to prevent this. A letter flutters down from beyond the curtain. You found lost letter number 4. My love, do you remember when we first met? I had just finished one of my scripts. One I was quite proud of, in fact. As I read it aloud, you happened to pass by. What a terrible ending, you said. Why should these poor fools have to die? You were so rude. You wouldn't accept any of my justifications. And yet, you managed to convince me. It really would be better if everyone could live in harmony, however unrealistic that felt. I look back fondly on that day, even now. I wonder if, somewhere, you're thinking of it too. Oh, what's this? Oh, right. Because we got this option like forever ago, but we don't even have an option to back out of it now. It can't end like this. You want to answer the maiden's prayers. You've decided to find a way to save everyone. But retracing the past you've seen so far, there doesn't seem to be any room to avoid a bad ending. Is there really nothing you could do to keep them all from getting killed in the end? If there's nothing you could do by acting from within their story, maybe it's time to take things into your own hands. Oh. On fire! Oh no, they're burning. I'm this guy. You boldly insert yourself into the story and use your incredible power to warp everyone to safety. You didn't know you could do that, but what's going on here? You take a moment to get a good look at yourself. You are... you. But why are you pitch black? You feel that this body doesn't accurately represent you, but you've moved past it. The hero, maiden, underling, and overlord have been staring at you too. They look like they don't really know what they're supposed to do right now. You guess that's because you're usually the one guiding them. What will you say to them? Hi guys! You smile awkwardly and introduce yourself. The maiden is the first to respond. My prayers have been answered. You must be... for God? No, you're merely the player. If there was any god here, they'd be the final boss. That's just how these role-playing games go. Now you realize what the real true ending must be. Now. Enough of this. I admit I've been encouraging you all along, but a self-insert story? How passé. You watch helplessly as tragedy descends from the heavens. You didn't honestly believe you were the only one who could force your way into the stage, did you? I am the narrator, storyteller, god of this world. Call me Tragedy if you'd like. Darkness envelops your party. You don't mind if I send each of them back to relive one of their many bad endings, right? You are alone in the darkness with me, Tragedy. I sincerely hope you've been enjoying your time in my theater. Though I cannot abide you stealing the show without permission, it's quite disrespectful. I'm sick of all these bad endings. Then, frankly, you should never have come to a place called Bad End Theater. Haven't we already been over this? You think defeating me might just be the only way to see a better ending. It's all that's left for you, isn't it? Well, this does sound like it could be entertaining. Show me what you've got. Time to fight God! The stage is set for your final battle against me, the god of this world. What will you do? How will you fight against tragedy itself? I'd love to see it. Hey-ha! You try your best to tear me down, but you can't seem to do any damage. You don't truly exist in this world after all. I'm trying. Oh, is that all? You'll never defeat me like that. Wait, let me try that again. Try your best to tear me down, but you can't seem to do any damage. You don't truly exist in this world after all. Perhaps you don't understand just how outclassed you are here. Behold, my beautifully tragic tales! Doesn't seeing them all again make your heart ache? You've witnessed all 41 of my painstakingly crafted endings. You must be as much of a masochist as me. I commend your thoroughness. Surely these characters have a special place in your heart. They're still suffering backstage, you know. It's a shame they couldn't make it here, to the end of the world. That's right. You came here to save them. You can't do this alone. Summon! Bahamut! I mean, what? You find the hero in his home, hunched over a sewing table. Your sudden intrusion scares the hell out of the poor guy. Are you some kind of demon? You explain that, no, you're not a demon, you're... Can you explain it in a way the hero can understand? Instead, you ask what he's sewing. Oh, this? I craft all my own hero gear. You sense his pride in his hobby. You wonder if the costumes are what attracted him to the role of hero. Would you like some clothes? You don't seem to be wearing any. You remember the state of your body and decide that yes, some clothes from the hero would be nice. He is overjoyed by your answer. Apparently his outfits are too gaudy for the other townsfolk, so no one else wants them. The true end for the hero suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change his fate. I could make a living as a tailor rather than a hero? Please, tell me what I can do to reach that dream. The hero will now fight alongside you. I agreed to follow you, but I didn't expect to face something like this. The hero has arrived! We really couldn't have a final boss battle without him. You're the one who's been killing us. Murderer! I can't truly call myself a hero until I see you defeated. We'll see about that. Tragedy attacks with a terrible fate! Willpower. Your reign of terror ends here, Tragedy. I refuse to give in. The hero uses his willpower to overcome tragedy. Tragedy is reeling. You happen to find the maiden as she exits the church, her heart set on meeting a demon. Perfect timing. She approaches you, having already taken notice of your odd form. Excuse me, are you a traveler? I've never seen anyone like you before. You explain that, no, you're not a traveler. Well, maybe you are in a sense. You've come all this way. The maiden regards you with excited curiosity. Then perhaps you might be a demon. I was hoping I would meet one today. You think of all the terrible fates that hope would bring about. She is the catalyst of this story, after all. My role as a maiden is to be captured by the Overlord, but you see, I've grown so tired of waiting. You remember this part. She wanted to understand her role better, and so... You ask what it is that she's really hoping to gain from this. The maiden is confused by your question. Perhaps it was as simple as wanting to reach the place she felt like she belonged. The true end for this maiden suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change her fate. If there is something I can do to find fulfillment, then please, guide me. The maiden will now fight alongside you. What is this horrible creature? You wound me, dear maiden. Is tragedy really such a terrible thing to behold? I remember now. I remember all the awful things you put us through. And this should be familiar to you as well. Tragedy attacks with a terrible fate! Ow. Kindness or hope? I don't know. We're gonna summon everyone else. You approach the gates of the Overlord's castle. The underling is on guard duty, as you expected. They call out to you. The other demon guard is sound asleep. Hey, you're a pretty weird-looking intruder. What do you want? You explain that, no, you're not an intruder, although you're definitely intruding into their story right now. You tell the underling you've come to save them from tragedy. Okay, try saving me from boredom first. I hate this job. The underling snickers. You ask what kind of job they'd rather have. It'd be best if I didn't have to work at all. I just want to live a carefree life and never get bossed around or picked on. You think of the underling's friends, who had bullied them into an assassination plot only to betray them in the end. If they kept better company, maybe they wouldn't feel so restless. The true end for the underling suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change their fate. So there's a way that even work can be fun? Sounds fake, but I'll tag along with you just in case. The underling will now fight alongside you. Wait, what the fuck? You didn't say anything about a boss battle? The underling, You must be desperate to call on such an unreliable ally. Huh. If I beat this guy up, all my problems will be over. Oh, but it won't be that easy. Tragedy attacks with a terrible fate! Now, summon. You enter the Overlord's room, relieved to see the fire contained to the torches on the walls. Yeah, I was getting kinda tired of seeing her burn over and over. When you close the door behind you, the Overlord rises from her slumber. Who are you? Have you come to reside in my castle and serve me? You explain that, no, you're not here to serve her. It's more like you've come to do her a favor. You ask why she spends all day sleeping instead of commanding her demon army. She laughs in response. Many of my underlings certainly think I should be more aggressive with the humans, like my father before me. His quest for revenge was endless and self-perpetuating. There's a reason I had to destroy him. You can't help but think it's a little late in the game to be getting some new backstory. I have no interest in waging war on the humans. I merely wish to be left alone, to live a peaceful, indulgent life in my castle. Realize she must actually be very lonely, only surrounded by soldiers instead of friends. No wonder she gets so attached to the maiden. The true end for the Overlord suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change her fate. My own attempts at peace have been rather imperfect. If you offer a solution, then very well, I will follow you. The Overlord will now fight alongside you. I see, so this is tragedy. Ah, you've brought the Overlord. I don't stand a chance now. You prevented me from attaining peace for long enough. Prepare to die. Ha! I hope you're prepared to face your deaths as well. Tragedy attacks with a terrible fate. Kablooey. Aha! Now that the whole party's here, can you solve my final puzzle? Which combination of behaviors will open the path to your true ending? Show me. Hope? Our true endings do exist. They simply must. The maiden hopes with all her heart to overcome tragedy. Tragedy is reeling. Tenacity. Knock me down and I'll just come back stronger. The underling uses their tenacity to overcome tragedy. Kabam! Tragedy is reeling. Ambition. I'll reach my true ending with my own power. The Overlord uses her ambitious nature to overcome tragedy. This is it. With everyone's hearts united, you take aim towards your best possible futures. You all unleash one final attack to destroy tragedy once and for all. You've done it! You've managed to defeat me! A tragic ending for tragedy itself. I love it! I must thank you all for fulfilling your roles perfectly. Thank you, Hero! Starring Hero as himself. Starring Maiden as herself. Thank you, Maiden! Thank you, Underling. Thank you, Overlord. Enough of this nonsense. We defeated you, so die already! Don't worry, I'll be making my exit shortly. Finally, thank you most of all. We couldn't have made it here without you. Directed by you! Yay! Yes, my bad end theater did contain a truly good ending after all. I apologize for antagonizing you for so long. I wanted to deliver a satisfying story. Was I able to do it? I wonder. I'm satisfied. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Happy endings shouldn't always come easily. Reality is not so kind. But you've earned this one. Here's your true ending. Aww. What a cool game. I'm curious how short these credits are gonna be.
Take your seats
That's one way to shut me up. You know, I think I know why I like this music so much. It reminds me very much of some of the Nier tracks. Like, there's one specifically I have in mind.
Wandering all alone, searching for my lost love, stumbled toward bed and theater. Though its blaze were cold, I still felt this warmth from them. Isn't that strange? Can't help thinking of your face. For all your tragedies, all right, happy endings. Undo all our suffering. I've missed you, my darling.
Aw, that's such a cute song. Your true end. Something's missing. Oh. You're still here? The curtain has closed for the final time. I'm shutting down my theater. There are no more tragedies left for me to tell, after all. There is one more. Me. You'd like to know why I started this theater. Because I'm obsessed with bad endings, of course. Remove the mask. You gently raise your fingers to the cracks in my mask. Piece by piece, it falls apart into your hands, revealing... the maiden? I should have warned you. This might affect what you think of my stories. You can't help but compare my face to the maiden's. I'm not her, but it's not like she isn't me. Necessarily. That's how it is with fiction. Would you like to hear, not another ending, but the truth? Tell me. Alright, one last story. You may already know this, but it doesn't have a happy ending. First, I'll set the stage. In this world, there are no such things as demons. Or even heroes, really. There was a girl eager to set out, to fulfill some sort of destiny. That part was true. She met someone. Another girl. Huh. A running theme, isn't it? The maiden and the overlord? The two were inseparable, and for a time, everything was just wonderful. But their families, the communities they came from, neither could approve of their relationship. That is the reality for many. This pair was no different. Despite their best efforts, the world was intent on pulling them apart. We used to like the types of stories where love conquers all. Where the strength of your love will pull you through any hardship and everything is okay in the end. I lost her. And then I started this theater. But this story does have a happy ending. Huh? I was hoping to find you. It's you. It's been so long. I thought I'd never see you again. You always think of the worst endings. I wasn't about to give up just because things got difficult. Why didn't you reveal yourself sooner? I feel like such a fool. I could say the same to you. You knew I could never resist giving your stories a happy ending. So of course I'd be drawn to a place like this. Yes, but I didn't think it would actually work. Sometimes everything does turn out okay in the end. Thank you for reminding me of that. I love you. I love you too. Now, truly, everyone can live happily ever after. Tragedies end. That's fucking adorable. Like, that's just, it puts such a good smile on my face. Like, my god. But what if we say no? There's nothing more to see, my love, but if you'd like to reset, if you really want to experience everything all over again, I'm happy to oblige. But begin the resetting process? Never mind. You're so fickle. Let me know if you change your mind. Aw, shit, I can't go back. No! There's nothing more to see, but if you'd like to reset... There are two options. Keep some of your progress and reset to before you started the true ending, or you can erase all of your progress and replay the game as if it's your very first time. You'll have to collect everything all over again. You can't take this back, so choose carefully. Let's go before the true end, because I want to see what happens when you say no. Your progress has been reset. You are now free to enjoy my endings all over again. No. Well, I did my best. Happy endings shouldn't always come easily. Reality is not so kind. But you've earned this one. Here's your true ending. Oh. Well, I tried, damn it! But I can listen to the song a second time? Hell yes! Worth it. This game is good about trying to display a couple of good messages. Like, it automatically... I think the reason I like it so much is it is reminding me of Nier, while being nothing like Nier. Like, Nier is not really a choice-making game. Not in the slightest. But they both kind of have this theme of, like, anybody can sin, depending on which side you're on. You know, you're the villain in someone else's story. Like, that was a constant thing this game showed, and that's a constant thing Nier did. So that's really cool to see, you know, one of my favorite games in another game, despite they don't play like the other at all. They're completely different, but they have the same message, and I think that's really cool that you can go such a different direction. I wonder, because, you know, I guess the creator of this game is obsessed with bad endings, I would like to know if they played Nier, because Nier is full of those, because that's another thing, is Nier is really sad. No wonder I like it so much. Hello everyone, this is Future V. I thought I would come out and say that someone had actually wanted me to go back and die. So blame chat. But I hope you enjoy anyway. Goodbye! Your HP has run out. You are overcome by tragedy. If you wish to challenge me again, collect more bad endings. You'll be able to reach this path again through the Maiden's True End. I'll be waiting. Your bad end. Total reset. Your progress has been completely reset. Does this count as a bad ending? Well, just in case. Total reset. End. Well, thank you everyone for stopping by. That was a ton of fun. Like, this game is really good. And for anybody who stopped in later and didn't see the entire thing, I implore you, play the game yourself. It's just a really, really neat game. I love it very much. It is a whole $10 for this game. And honestly, completely and entirely worth it.